Hi friends, and welcome to day 3 of multiplying by 2-digit numbers. Today we're doing a couple workbook pages together. We're doing page 263, 264, 265, and 266. So this is kind of our review before our review, just to make sure we can practice some of these strategies together. So we're not going to do more than one strategy for each problem, but we're going to kind of mix up the strategies we do use. So for example, on the first page, we're going to use one strategy. On the second page, we'll use a different strategy, okay? So we're going to start on page 263. And once we finish these, you're just going to work on your blue iReady lesson. So let's just jump on in. So we have find the product of 15 and 24, and obviously show your work. That's a given at this point, right? So we're going to multiply 15 times 24. Now, for this one, I'm just going to stack it so we can go over that strategy. So, first I'm going to start off with my 1. So I'm going to have 5 times 4, which is 20. And just so you know where this number is coming from, I'm just going to write 5 ones times 4 ones, just so you guys know where each of these numbers is coming from. Now, I'm going to multiply my 4 ones times my 110, which is 40. So I'm going to have 4 ones times 110. Now you don't have to write this down on the side, but I think if you're looking back at these workbook pages for your quiz, very helpful to know where these numbers are coming from. So we're done with the ones place, so now we're looking at both numbers, the 1 and the 10. So technically it's saying like 20, because we're looking in the tens place and there's 2 10s. So we're going to have 20 times 5, which we know is 100. So we have 2 10s times 5 ones. And then we have 20 times 10, which is 200. So it's like saying 2 10s times 110. Okay, and then just like normal, we're going to add these up. So we have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 0, 4 plus 2, which is 6, 2 plus 1, which is 3. So we can say 15 times 24 is equal to 360. Now, if you have any questions, friends, remember this is like the review before our review tomorrow, so this is the time to ask. If you need a pause here to write something down, or you want to write these little notes down, you can take a second to pause. If not, we're going to move on to page 264. So, another problem with finding the product, obviously. So we have to multiply 12 times 32. But for this one, we're going to draw the picture so that way, if that makes more sense to you, you can see how to use it in a problem. So if you want to use it on the comprehension check or an assignment, you know how. So first thing, we're going to break apart my 32 into 30 plus 2. Okay, and I'm going to draw my line to separate. And then I'm going to have this side be my 12, so it's going to be 10 plus 2. And I'm going to draw my line to separate again. Okay? Now, I'm going to multiply. So I have 30 times 10, which is equal to 30. And then I have 2 times 10, which is equal to 20. Okay? So my 30 times 10, my 2 times 10. Now I have 30 times 2. So 30 times 2, 3 times 2 is 6. Then we add a 0, so 30 times 2 is 60. And then 2 times 2, easy peasy, is 4. And then we're just going to go, friends, and grab every product we got. And we're going to add them together. So we have 30 plus 60 plus 20 plus 4, okay? And if we add all of those up, we get 384, okay? So again, if this makes more sense to you, just make sure you're breaking apart into tens and ones, okay? So that means 12 times 32 is equal to 384. Okay? Again, if you want to go over a practice problem with this strategy, just let me know, and I will gladly go over it, okay? And if you feel confident, we're going to move right on along, just so we don't have too much time spent on each of these. But again, if you need time or you need to ask me anything, just pause. That'll give you your time. If not, we're going to move on to number 3. So, a deli is preparing trays of sandwiches. There are 48 trays, and each tray has 23 sandwiches. How many sandwiches are there? Okay? So, we're going to multiply 48 times 23. So for this one, I'm just going to do the same thing we did on the first page. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 3, which we know is 24. And then I'm going to multiply 3 times 40, which we know is 120. And then I'm going to move on to my 10. So 20 times 8 is 160. And then 40 times 20 is 800, okay? And then we're just going to add. I'm kind of running out of room here, oh no. So we're going to have 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 4. 6 plus 2, which is 8, plus 2 more is 10. So we're going to have a 0, carry the 1. 8 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 11. So our answer is 1,104. Now, friends, again, if it's easier for you to draw the picture, this is what it should look like, okay? So it's just up to you what strategy you prefer. If you like doing the stacked way, that's fine. If you want to do it this way, it would just be 40 times 20, 8 times 2, 40 times 3, and 8 times 3. It's just a matter of if you like breaking it apart into the tens or if you just like stacking it and doing it that way. Now, Nathan chose A as the correct answer. So, what do we think he did? He said 240. So it looks like instead of multiplying 2 by 40 and 2 by 8, he multiplied 20 by 40 and 20 by 8. So if you look, if he did 20 by 40, that would have given us the 800, right? So he should have done this, but it looks like he multiplied 2 times 4, which would have given him the 80, right? So instead of getting the 800, he got 80, which is the reason he got 240. So Nathan did 2 times 40 and 2 times 8 instead. Okay? So, that is number 3. Now again, if you need to pause to write any of this down, feel free. If not, we're going to move right on along to number 4. We only have a couple more, friends, because we are not doing the journal entry today. So, number 4 says, a person blinks about 16 times per minute. How many times does a person blink in 3 hours? So, 16 times per minute. Hint, 1 hour is 30 minutes. So guess what, friends? This is a 2-step problem. So first we have to figure out how many minutes are in 3 hours. So we need to multiply 60 minutes times 3 hours. So we know 3 times 0 is 0. 60 times 3 is 180. So that means there's 180 minutes in 3 hours, but we're talking about 16 times per minute, so that means now we're going to have to multiply this 16 times this 180, so we have 180 times 16 now. Now again, this is where I'm actually going to move it over, because I know I'm going to run out of room if I do it over there. So we're going to have 180 minutes times 16 times per minute And then that will be our final answer. So 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 8 is 48. If we add that 0, we get 480. And then 6 times 100, 600. Okay, so that's easy. That's what we've been doing all along. But now we have to go back and make it do multiplication with our tens place. So we're going to have 10 times 0, which we know is 0. 10 times 80, which is 800. And then 1 times 100. Sorry, not 1. 10 times 100, which is 1,000. See, friends, even Miss Dion makes mistakes sometimes, but it's not a 1, it's a 10 because it's in the tens place. And then we're going to add them all up. So we're going to have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 0. 8 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is 8. 6 plus 4, which is 10, plus 8 more is 18. And then we're going to carry the 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2. So that means that if a person blinks 16 times per minute, how much does he blink in 3 hours? Well, they blink 2,880 times, okay? Now, if you have any questions with this, please pause here and ask. This one was 2 steps because first we had to figure out hours into minutes. So make sure if you do not get any of these, friends, you are stopping and asking. That's why I stay in the meat, okay? But if you feel confident, we're going to move right on along to number 5. So number 5 says, what is the product of 47 and 91? So we need to multiply 47 times 91. For this one, I'm going to draw my box for my friends who like the picture. So I'm going to break apart my 47 into 40 plus 7. And then I'm going to break apart my 91 into 90 plus 1. Okay? So, first we have 90 times 40, which we know 9 times 4 is 36, and then just add 2 zeros. 90 times 7, we know 9 times 7 is 63, and then just add the 0. So 630. 40 times 1 is easy, it's just 40. And then 7 times 1 is equal to 7. So then we're just going to go and pull each of these products and add them together. So we have 3,600 plus 630 plus 40 plus 7. And if we add all of those together, we get 4,277. Okay? And then if you want to just fill in your boxes up here, it's 4,277. So 4, 2, 7, 7. Okay? Now, again, whatever strategy here is easiest for you, okay? It's just a matter of what makes the most sense. So, moving on along here, which model below represents the solution for 45 times 15? So we're going to have to look at all of these because it says models. I know I kind of covered it, but models means there's more than one, right? It's plural. So we're going to have to see each of these, which one would give us 45 times 15. Now, if we look at this first one, the line isn't really visible, but this is what it would look like. It's where the brackets end. So we would have 10 times 40 and 10 times 5, and then 40 times 5 and 5 times 5. Now, if we were to add plus signs in between these numbers, we would have 40 plus 5, which is 45, and then 10 plus 5, which is 15. Now, is that 45 times 15? Yes, it is, so A would work. Now, moving on along. This number line is counting by 15, so we would have 1 set of 15, 2 sets of 15, 3 sets of 15. So we have 1, 2, 3. Now, that would mean 15 times 3. That's not what we're looking for this one, so that is not our answer. Now, Letter C says 4 times 1, which is 4, plus 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 5 times 1, which is 5, plus 5 times 5, which is 25. That looks nothing like 45 times 15, so we know C also does not work. Now, this one has 10 times 40, which, look, friends, this would be 10 times 40, and then this would be 5 times 10, and then this would, so we have 10 times 40, 10 times 5, and then we have 5 times 40, and 5 times 5, so we have 5 times 40 and 5 times 5. That's just another way of showing us the equations we would get from our picture. So D works, okay? Because if A works and it's the same equations and they're just adding them together, that means D also works. And then from there, if we look at this one, it's counting by 45s. But if it's counted by 45s, that means it has to do it 15 times. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that means if we're skip counting by 45 15 times, that is the same as saying 45 times 15. So E also works, okay? So again, models means more than one, so we had to go and solve each of these and see if it matched 45 times 15, okay? Another trick for this is just to multiply 45 times 15, which is 675, and then you could have went and solved each of these and saw if you got 675, then you knew it worked, okay? So you would get that for A, D, and E, okay? Now, again, if you need help, pause. If not, we have one more problem because I am skipping number 7. I don't like number 7, so we're not going to do it. And we're also not doing the math journal, so we just have number 8 left, and then you would move on to your blue iReady lesson. Unless you have a question, then obviously join the meet and ask. But Mo, we're going to just do number 8. Mo has 14 tutoring sessions. Each session is 35 minutes long. How many minutes does Mo spend in 14 sessions? So, for this one, we are multiplying 14 times 35 because they want to know how much minutes she spends in these sessions, and she does 14. So 14 times 35 is what we're working on. So we have 14 times 35. Now for this one, I am going to draw our picture again, okay? So we're going to have 10 plus 4 to break apart our 14. And then we are going to have 30 plus 5 to break apart our 35. So we're going to multiply 30 times 10, which is 300. 30 times 4, which is 120. 10 times 5, which is 50. And then 4 times 5 is equal to 20. So then just like we've been practicing, we're going to take all of these products and add them together. So we have 300 plus 120 plus 50 plus 20. And so that means 14 times 35 is equal to 490 minutes, okay? Now again, friends, if you have any questions, please join the meet. If not, then we will move right on to the blue iReady. But before you do, I want you to join the meet and tell me what strategy you like better. Do you like drawing the picture like this? Or would you rather do the math stacked like this, okay? So let me know, and then you can move on to the blue iReady lesson if you feel confident, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.